Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here. I'm Francois Guichard. I work for the United Nations. I deal with technical regulations. And I have the pleasure to welcome today great speakers that know everything about autonomous vehicles. We have Helen Pan from Baidu, and we have Vincent Vanhoucke from Waymo. I'm not going to talk a lot. I think we need to hear from them. But what I will tell you is we already have trained a little bit today because we had a workshop. And what I can tell you from this workshop, like 6 hours, is we have autonomous vehicles on streets. This is a reality. This is something sure. We talked about it. They explained to us how they make it sure, safe. The other thing we looked into is the hardware, software, fascinating, very new. And the last thing we talked about was about ethics and how to make sure that the general principle of ethics apply also to these kind of very specific products. The first thing I would like to ask you, Helen, is what did you learn after so many years driving Baidu Go in China?
Okay, thank you, Francois. It was a really good question. I think the mission for us doing the autonomous driving technology is trying to bring a safer road to the public. And we actually started the mission back to 2013. And after we started the autonomous driving service 2019. And in February 2025, we are going to complete the driverless operations.
Great. And what about the USA? Vincent, please tell us what you learned during 1 year of commercial operations in the US.
Yeah, we've learned a lot. We've learned that people actually love it, which was not a given when we started. Like, we built autonomous driving cars because the technology was available and we thought there was a need for it in the marketplace. But it was completely unproven that the public would actually react the way it has. And the reaction has been phenomenal. Waymos are like a big tourist attraction in San Francisco now. We've seen a very positive reaction from people from all ages, all sectors. We see, for example, women really appreciate being able to drive back home in the evening and not get into a stranger's car in doing so, and having that independence and freedom and safety and well-being of being and also experiencing a consistent experience. We are hearing from parents that are dying to get their kids to, be ferried to their soccer practice. And we've just started a program for teens to be able to drive in autonomous cars on their own to go to their various activities. The other thing we've learned is that we can do this safely. And that the data now is in. We've driven more than 50 million miles, and over those 50 million miles, we've been able to compare the performance of our system against similar drivers in the areas that we operate in, and we find that the rate of injury to pedestrians, for instance, is reduced by 92%. The rate of injury to cyclists and motorcyclists is reduced by 82%. Those are big numbers, right? Imagine if you were a city planner or a city official that in charge of traffic safety, and you would be able to show those kinds of numbers after an intervention of a public safety intervention in your city. Those are really big numbers. It only makes sense if we can scale them and if we can really sort of bring those numbers to, in absolute terms, be very large so that we actually save significant number of lives in the process. And we're very eager to expand the service and make it possible for everyone to enjoy it.
Thank you. So both of you, you are deploying your products in very specific areas. Is it difficult to adapt to new areas? I'm asking the question because I'd like to know if we are going to have your products in many cities in the future. So how much time it takes to go to the next city or the next location?
Okay, this question, it was really great question. We've been asking us for many years. And with the technology development, and we actually seeing we can be able to adapt after Baidu already implemented 170 million kilometers. So with that public road autonomous driving testing, so we build up a lot of capabilities to see how we can mature the technology from 0 to 1, and seeing the technology bring a safer road, and compared to the human driver, as Vincent was mentioned, we see about 10x improvement, as well with our country fleet operation globally, more than 1,000 driverless vehicles, insurance claim is about 14x smaller. So which is as we see we can be safer than human. By doing that one, so we see we can be able to quickly expanding to other cities. As we mentioned, we actually want to take much more cautiously because we take safety as our main principle with that as first priority. So we want to make sure we earn the trust from the public. When we're doing that one, we will be phased out with different phases to working with the local regulators and the government and working together, as well with that. And what I see is, besides the safety we bring to the public, we want to make sure we deliver the service to provide the sustainability and the accessibility. In terms of sustainability, what we do is this way. From the ground up, when we're building this robot taxi service, we're working with the city around the public transportations. And majority of the pickup and the drop-off location, we pick surrounding the public transportation locations. And on top of that one, with our real fleet operation data, we see 53% of our order. It happened in rainy days, happened in rush hours, happened during holidays, or some of the times at nighttime, which means the existing mobility or transportation system, doesn't matter private or is public, is liking the service regions. It's more than 50% that one. That means our solution is very complementary to the existing system. On top of that one, we also want to make sure bring this mobility to everybody, all inclusive. So by doing that, as Vincent mentioned about, we have a women program. We also have that one too. And that program was initiated working with government together. There are some of the female employees who will be ending their job at midnight. And so we want to make sure we bring the safety in two aspects. Safety in the public road and the safety for personally. So in this way, we can providing relaxing driving home after their one-day shift at midnight, so they can be secured drive home by a driverless vehicle. And also we're providing like massaging chair and everything to make it enjoyable. And we're also providing the program for senior citizens. And we're collaborating with the government together in those senior facilities. We're providing their driverless service. And we're also trying to work with like vision impairment and make sure, actually, it overall have 70 million folks. That's a quite a large population. We want to make sure our service can be able to work with them together. Like we have a touchless contact to enter in the vehicle, driverless vehicle. We also have voice recognition to complete all the command interaction in the vehicle. So all those will be very friendly feature for the vision impairment. And while we as service dog, we all welcome. With all of that one, we also constantly iterating our design to interact with them, work together, make sure their user experience is smoothly. So this way we taking their feedback into our system and as evolving, so we make sure the service can address a lot of things who doesn't have the mobility service as today, and we can provide a complementary service to them.
Thank you so much. And what about the perspective of Waymo? You're going to Japan also, so maybe from
we
this
started doing some testing and data collection in Japan, which is an interesting challenge coming from a right side driving to a left side driving city. But thus far, we've seen that we've been able to launch fully autonomous in 5 different cities, and every new city that we launched in, was faster than the previous one. So the rate of expansion has not been bottlenecked by the technology. A lot of the issues about expanding are, there's a lot of logistics involved. You need to build a depot where the cars can go and charging infrastructure. You need to build a relationship with the local authorities, with the police, with the firefighters, so that they understand how to act around an autonomous car when there is no driver that they can speak to in the driver's seat. So a lot of that is a lot about building trust from the community, from the city officials down to the individual members of the community. And we're expanding to at least 2 more cities in the next year, and we have big plans to expand much more broadly across the United States.
Thank you so much. So at UNECE, we want to work for a future of mobility that would be accessible, safe, secure, and of course sustainable. We already heard a bit from you, Helen, about the sustainability. From the Waymo point of view, how do you see, why is it smart to put this kind of new systems in our mobility systems?
One of the interesting aspects of bringing autonomous cars into a city, into an ecosystem, is the impact it has on other road users. The general trend has been that pedestrians and bicyclists really love to be around Waymos because they have some strong guarantees that we're going to have a consistent behavior. We're giving them more space than potentially the average driver. And so we enhance the safety and the enjoyability of being in the streets indirectly by our mere presence. There's been other studies that show that if you even inject just a small fraction of autonomous cars in the traffic, particularly on highways, you smooth out all the rubbernecking that happens because they're able to sort of give more space to all the cars, and you have a lot fewer traffic jams. So just as a system-wide improvement, smoothing, like the cars are kind of greasing the wheels of the city in many ways and are improving the accessibility in that way. It also provides many more options of accessibility to individual users. This has been my journey joining Waymo. I got injured, couldn't drive for a few months. I had to go to lots of medical appointments all over the city. Got early access to Waymos and was taking Waymos everywhere, and I just fell in love with the product. Like, it was absolutely transformational for me to be able to do this. And there are many people that are left out from our current system that now can enjoy the independence. This is one thing we hear most about users that have specific disabilities that prevent them from driving. They say, look, I've never been in a car by myself. This is the first time I can actually experience this level of privacy and independence and autonomy that was never accessible to me before. And it's a huge deal for those communities.
And Helen, what about the aspect of sustainability? Do you envisage as Baidu to have Baidu vehicles everywhere, or do you want to integrate in the public transport, or how is the future?
Okay. I think as we're expanding, autonomous driving service globally with 15 cities, and also we have serving by end of May, we have 11 million public autonomous driving rides. And so with all that, I see we would like to working with the industry collaborations with everybody, and as we mentioned it, I see this technology. I work in this field more than 10 years. I see this technology from very baby stage all the way to today, and also with AI technology advancement, we starting seeing this one finish from 0 to 1 journey, which is starting to be safer than human driver, and roughly about the safer. So with that one, and I thinking we want to work with all the industry collaborators together and with the global expansion and jointly to make this technology bring to the consumer sooner and faster.
Great. So there have been crazy development in AI during the last year or 2 years. We all know about ChatGPT. It found its way in automotive. What is the future of AI in automotive? What do you expect in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Do you have any idea? I don't know, in your research, maybe at Waymo, do you have any plan or a foresight?
The story of robotics at large and autonomous driving in particular has been one of progressive AI convergence. In 15 years ago, I think a lot of people had the idea that the autonomous driving problem was a robotics problem, where you had to do path planning from point A to point B, and that's how you will solve the problem of bringing autonomous driving into the streets. It's been a slow process, but I think collectively the community has realized that actually autonomous driving is an AI complete problem. You have to have a level of intelligence to be able to effectively drive in the real world that is close or similar to human intelligence. There are a lot of cases where actual intuition about the scenarios that you're confronted with is really important, and the cues can be very subtle. And the context is a very human context. So a lot of the AI tools that are coming to the forefront, like multimodal models, world models, reinforcement learning from human feedback, all of that ends up applying to the autonomous driving problem. Think of ChatGPT, it's a conversational agent. You speak to it in language. Think of driving as a visual conversation that you're having with the other agents on the road. You move forward, they move. You move forward further, they stop, give you away. All of that is a subtle dance that is essentially a visual conversation, and we literally, it's not just a metaphor, we literally use that representation to model agents in the real world, and that opens up all the same technologies that conversational agents are leveraging to build large language models and applying them to the agent prediction and driving problem.
Great. So do you mean in 5 years there will be no hallucination any longer because we will have a new system already, no longer LLM or?
There's a lot more that can happen in that space. I think the whole LLM, multimodal models, world model, we collectively as an AI community, we've only scratched the surface. And there is a lot more advances that are coming from that way that are going to have, I think, a transformational impact on the autonomous driving system. But transformation is a constant in AV. We've gone through maybe like 4 different generations of machine learning technologies in the span of the last 15 years. And it's a constant reinvention. And it's not stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, I would like to hear that. That's actually really true. Being in this field so long, what you see is like you ride the AI wave multiple times, not single times, and which is how we be able to make it working. And I think in terms of the autonomous driving technology, they have a little bit a couple unique in terms of application. First thing is real time. So we need solving that by real time. So that's why any of the algorithm, for example, now like recent the LLM and the reasoning models and the word understandings, those things we need to utilize their advantage because they can generalize the problem. They have general foundation of understanding it. But on the other hand, we want to make sure that one can be, besides real time, we want to make sure that one has high accuracy and high recall rate. And that's actually, we need to utilize all the good part of the AI and combine with all the system solution to deliver a safer solution for the autonomous driving. That's the combination. And I totally agree with Vincent on this is, I think we already ride 4 waves of AI, and we're going to ride more. So the new technology happened in the autonomous driving, in the AI field, will be the early adapter for that one, because this is one real case is commercializing starting now. Yeah.
Thank you both very much for this fantastic conversation. The time is almost over. I have 20 seconds to thank you both, and also thank ITU for hosting us. It's been fantastic. Thank you for this week. UNECE is delighted to work with ITU on regulations and standardization. Thank you so much for your great products.
Thank you for hosting us.
It's a pleasure to hear.